Morning everybody, my name is Fintan Murphy. My company is Damson Technologies, and this morning I have a few slides that I'm going to run through, just talking about business problems that surround technology today that some of you may experience in your own businesses, Google's innovative approach and moving to the cloud, and then Paul's going to talk about setting up a cloud office and the future of this kind of technology. So the first part is, what are the business problems that surround, or from a technology perspective, what are the business problems? Well, in this particular area, there are two sections. One is the user, and that's your staff in your organization and indeed yourself. And the other is the organization themselves. So I'm going to talk about those two, and they're both very, very different. So the messaging challenge today for the users, they have a huge amount of email and documents and calendaring events that they have to manage, and far more than they ever used to have. And from the user's perspective, they find that things are limited. They know that the technology could go a lot faster, but like this guy here, they feel a little bit clamped. And they say that users spend about 25% of their time trying to find the information that they need. Can you guys see? Yeah. 25% of their time trying to find the information that they need. And they say that about 60% of an organization's intellectual property is within our email. And that's because we now email, a lot of you here today will email Excel sheets, Word documents, PowerPoint presentations, PDFs, to other people in your organization and indeed outside your organization, and all that is now in your email system. And so email is far more core to our business than it ever used to be. The reason that users spend about 25% of the time looking for information is because we've all had that example in Outlook of, we search for something, we go off and make a cup of tea, and we come back and it's still searching. That's because it doesn't index anything. It's like going into a library and asking for a book called Jane Eyre, and them saying, well, can you just hang on there for a second? I need to look through these 100,000 books because we don't keep anything in alphabetical order. And that's basically why search takes so long. The other limit is space. The average email inbox is only 250 to 500 megabytes. Now, for people that don't understand what that means, I'm going to come back to the comparison between that and Google later on, but basically it's limited. A lot of users will have the error message of my inbox is full and I now have to delete some of my own messages that may be important to me in order to continue to use my email. Downtime. We've all been here. The average email server is down for about 1.5 hours every single month, and that's a lot of downtime for both small businesses and large corporations. Then we have the collaboration. And collaboration is now core to how we all work. We all email documents. We need to share information with other teams, other people, and indeed other organizations that we work with. And I have an example here of myself and some of my colleagues, and we're working on a document. And I email the document out to John, Bob, Sally, and Rachel, and they come back with their revisions of that document. And I put that into version 2. And then I send version 2 out to John, Bob, and Sally, and they make some revisions, and they come back to me pretty quickly. But I've got one friend, Rachel, and she's a little bit slower than all the rest. And so she comes back to me later on, and suddenly she's a completely different version, and I have this mess of information that I need to try and bring together into something that's comprehensive. And myself as the team leader, this is very, very difficult, and I'm struggling with it. And a lot of people are in this situation. And the question is, how much time is wasted, basically, by working in this way? Next, we have the organization. From the organization's perspective, they have possibly email servers, maybe you have a database, you have additional